Hello, I'm Ed, November 2 Echo Charlie, and I'll be your host for this welcome and quick start video. It is my distinct pleasure to be among the first to welcome you to the Long Island CW Club. LICW has a lot to offer, whether you're just learning Morse code or looking to increase your skills, or just looking for an amazing community. You've come to the right place. I've been a member of LICW since 2022 and currently teach classes for beginner and intermediate students as well as for our kids program. I've also had the pleasure of acting as a mentor for many of our new instructors. With over 150 classes and forums each week, an incredible array of resources, and a vibrant and active community, getting started can be a little overwhelming. But don't worry, we're about to get you up to speed with the information you'll need to get started learning and having fun here at LICW. For more information about the club and what it has to offer, let's hear from club founder Howard, WB2UZE. Howard?
Thank you, Ed, for hosting this video. And I'm Howard, WB2UZE, one of the co-founders of the Long Island CW Club. And welcome to our organization. We're very glad to have you. I thought I would take a few minutes to go over the basic tenets of our club so that you understand what our background and philosophy is. The Long Island CW Club was started back in 2018. The principal reason was to create more CW operators during field day, because on Long Island at that particular time there was a shortage of operators in most clubs. So I went to my good friend Rich K2UPS and said, why don't we give back and create more operators by teaching them? And Rich agreed right away, and we started the club. And little did we know that within a couple of years we would have thousands of members and be represented in all 50 states and 61 countries. So things have really grown. We have to thank Zoom for that, because that gave us the flexibility to reach out to many different people in different areas. They didn't necessarily have to be in Long Island, and we didn't have to have a brick and mortar facility. So that's basically how the club started. Now, what is our culture and what are the things that we are most proud of? We believe in our club that everybody should be kind and respectful to each other. On our group's IO, we don't allow any type of discourse that would be offensive to anybody else, and we like to create an encouraging and friendly environment. We built our entire club around that philosophy, which led to our being able to attract, thankfully, a large amount of women who have substantial leadership roles in our club as far as teaching and administration. We also think it's very important to create the next generation of ham radio operators, and we have, since the COVID lockdown, a youth program in place where we taught over 500 kids CW, and some of them have even gotten their licenses. We have over 10 classes a week just for the kids alone. Another important tenet of our philosophy is to be able to give back to those that are not as fortunate as the majority of us. We have a completely accessible website and Morse code trainer, and all our documents can be read by the blind using screen readers. We're very proud of that. We have classes that encourage people with disabilities, and we're very proud to say that the majority of people that do have disabilities are comfortable in our mainstream classes. We also, through the hard work of many individuals in the club, created a haptic vibrational device that gives CW vibrations to the palm of your hand. So if you have any type of hearing problem, you're now able to continue learning and using Morse code. So all of these things are very important to us, and we want to create a very supportive, friendly, and kind and gentle culture around our learning. Besides just rote learning, we structured the club to be able to have a fun environment. Now, how did we do that? Besides the rote learning CW classes, every day we have forums on various different topics. For example, Monday night, we have a radio and related technology forum that's been giving 3 years of presentation with outside speakers on very diverse topics, some related to radio and some not. And right now, we've converted that particular Monday night over to series where we give presentations that last over the course of a few months. What's running now, for example, is basic electronics, which is a very important thing to know, and it attracts a lot of attention. On Wednesday nights, we have a CW Makers class where members will join together and build things and encourage each other on different projects that they're doing as far as building. That's very interesting. Friday nights, we have a CW fun class where people get together and send each other jokes and other things that are amusing. On the weekends, we have a portable operations forum that has outside speakers come in and talk about all subjects regarding POTA and SOTA. And also on Saturday, we have a boat anchor forum where our experts get together and talk about vintage gear. Besides all of this, and sprinkled around the various days of the week, we have specific forums that deal with antennas, with the art of sending both manually and with keyers. We have one of our members who actually does a doctor's in class who can take questions on anything in ham radio. And we have another member that has a class on Thursday nights that can help you in any aspect of amateur radio, from setting up your station all the way through operating. So I've listed quite a few of these things to show you that besides just rote CW lessons, the club is a place to come and find friends, make good connections, and have a lot of fun while you're learning CW. Because if you're not having fun while learning, there's a lot of other things calling you, like Netflix, and there's things that will take up your attention. So you have to enjoy what you're doing, and we've built the club accordingly. So I hope now that you have a little bit of a background on how we're structured and what we're all about. Once again, thank you for joining. If you have any questions or comments, we're always available for you. And Ed, back to you.
Thank you, Howard. By now, you should have received a welcome email from Howard containing a lot of important information, and we recommend that you read it carefully. There, you'll find your LICW member number. Please make a note of it. You'll need that for future on-air activities. You also should have received an invitation to our club's groups.io. This is the club's primary means of communicating with the membership. You'll receive daily class schedules, which are critical for navigating the club's classes, and resources. Here to explain more about the class schedule is Club Instructor Dave, VK5PL. Over to you, Dave.
Oh, this is Dave, VK5PL. To get started in class, you first need to get into Groups.io. You can just type in groups.io into your browser in the search bar, click enter, and log in with your details that you joined LICW with. Okay, once in the Groups IO, on the left-hand side, you see all the different tabs. Click on the Messages button, and that will open up the listing of all the messages. This is where we find the information to get into classes. The message we're looking for are any of the class and forum schedules, as here, and you see them indicated by the class schedule hashtag in blue there. So there are three types. There's a weekly one, which has all the classes for the whole week. There are daily ones on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday that contain just the classes for that day. And there is a weekend one, which has all the classes for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So the thing we need to do, click on the class and forum schedule to open up the messages of that particular message, and you'll see the class and forum schedule for the week. Now the weekly one has this flow chart at the top and a bit of information about learning and practicing for beginners, and beneath that you'll see a listing of class categories. Now all that is only in the weekend or the weekly one. The daily ones and the weekend ones start here at the Zoom Access Info. The Zoom Access Info will show you the code and password and the link for each of the 5 rooms at the top there. Beneath the Zoom Access Info, you'll see a listing of links to different club resources, such as the Dropbox, the Morse Practice page, Facebook, etc. Lots of different links you can get to different parts of the club. Now beneath that one we have the listing of the classes, and depending on which message you opened, you'll have either the whole week, just the daily one, or the weekend classes. So to get into a class, you find the particular class you want. This one, it's listed with the day and the date. So Friday, September the 6th. It tells you on Friday 8 AM Eastern Time, but in here they also list UTC time as well. A description of what the class is, the instructor's name and call sign, and the link to Zoom A where the class is. There is a description of the class, which category it fits into, and sometimes the classes have an extra link, like this one here you can see in blue has a extra link for extra information that may be relevant to that class. So to get into this class at 8 AM, at about that time, maybe just a little bit before, you can click on the Zoom A link here, and that will take you to the class. This link up here, Zoom A, it doesn't matter whether you click this one or this one here. If it's 8 AM, this is the class you'll get into. Now this next one here at 9 AM, there is a class available in Zoom D. So at 9 AM, perhaps a little before, you can click either Zoom D here or Zoom D up here. It doesn't really matter. They all go to that same room. So once you get into the room, you can start learning in the class. So that's the quick way of getting into classes. Just find the class, click the link, a little pop-up will come to join the class, click that and you're in the class. So that is all you need to know about joining classes. Just jump into a class and enjoy learning your CW. And now back to Ed.
Thank you, Dave. Dave told us how to get onto the club's groups.io site to communicate with the club, link to our Zoom rooms, and attend classes and forums. But that is only the start of LICW's online communities and resources. The club has an active and lively Discord server where members from around the world chat about CW, arrange skeds, and get to know each other in real time. There's also an LICW WhatsApp group that is very active and has an international community of friends that alert each other to their POTA outings and have fun together. The club also has a social media presence on Facebook and Instagram where you can keep up with the club and interact. If you like to use your microphone, LICW even has its own DMR talk group on the TGIF network where you can talk with members from around the world. With so much going on, keeping up can be a challenge. So to that end, the club has some amazing media outlets to help you do just that. The club has a podcast with regular features and interviews with members hosted by our very own Duff WA7 BFN. We also have a newsletter detailing the activities and interests of our diverse membership. Of course, since you're watching a video, you already are aware of our YouTube channel, but definitely take a look at the rest of our videos, as we have lots of fun and informative content here as well. In addition to our public YouTube channel, we have extensive resources on our private Dropbox folders where you can see a vast library of classes, forums, and resources that touch on almost every corner of the amateur radio hobby. Don't forget to check out our website, where you can download the latest academic documentation for our unique and exciting curriculum. The club has also launched a series of classes taught in the Spanish language, and we're working to expand and enhance those offerings. One last thing of note is our ongoing LICW Challenge, a fun operating event that encourages QSOs among the members of the club in a fun and nurturing environment that comes complete with its own online logger and leaderboards so you can get on the air and play a radio with your fellow members. There are awards to earn, and the leaderboards reset each quarter, so the fun never stops. Believe it or not, this is only the tip of the iceberg of what you can discover and enjoy here at the LICW. All of the links to these resources and so much more can be found at the top of the weekly class schedule on groups.io. Speaking of that class schedule, LICW academics are comprehensive and unique. Here to explain more about our academics is club instructor Mike, N1CC. Over to you, Mike.
Thank you, Ed. There are a lot of unique aspects to the LICW beginner's curriculum, and I hope that you read the student and instructor guide and watch the entire overview video that's available to learn a lot more about it. For the purposes of this quick start video, what I'd like you to understand is the curriculum format, which is quite different than traditional training programs, which are linear in nature. In other words, they start at the beginning or at a reset with just a few characters, and then every subsequent lesson builds on that body of characters. Now, that's effective from an educational standpoint, but from a practical and scheduling standpoint, it means that if you don't start at the beginning or near the beginning, then it's easy to feel overwhelmed. And our students don't want to wait 2 or 3 months for a class to reset. So we developed the carousel concept. Our beginner's curriculum is comprised of 3 carousels. Each carousel can be thought of as a group of standalone lessons. The carousels go round and round. Students can jump on the carousel at any time and begin learning Morse code. They can also come off the carousel when they wish and progress whenever they feel they're ready. The carousel concept accommodates a broad range of student performance and student experiences. For example, fast learners or students with previous CW experience, they tend to zip right through the carousels, while students wanting a more relaxed approach can take 2 or more rotations of each carousel. It is totally flexible and highly effective. Now, Carousel 1 is comprised of 6 lessons where we introduce the first 18 characters with a broader objective of learning how to learn Morse code in the LICW method. Now, we recommend that you attend at least one BC1 class a week. And we conduct our BC classes 7 days a week at different times of the day to accommodate a broad range of student needs. All of the carousels are synchronized. In other words, every BC1 class will be conducted with the same characters for that week, and our weeks begin on Monday morning. Well, that's it. You are ready to jump on the carousel and begin learning Morse code. I wish you well on your CW journey. 73. Back to you, Ed.
Thank you, Mike. LICW conducts all its classes via Zoom video conference. The default settings on Zoom will prevent your oscillator or radio's side tone from being heard by the rest of the class, which certainly doesn't help you participate. So here to explain how to properly adjust your Zoom settings is Club Instructor Ron, KC2 PSA. Over to you, Ron.
Thank you, Ed, and greetings, everyone. LICW uses Zoom video conferencing software to facilitate its classes and forums. In this segment, I'll show you how to download and install Zoom, create a Zoom account, update your profile name and picture, and finally, configure your microphone settings so that everyone can hear your Morse code in class. To download Zoom, open your web browser and go to Zoom's Download Center at zoom.us/download. Zoom's website will detect the computer you have and provide a button to download the right version of Zoom for your computer. If two versions are provided, download the version that is right for you. Open the installer and follow the instructions to install Zoom. If asked, install Zoom for all users on your computer. Enter in your computer or admin password if requested. Once installed successfully, close the installer. Zoom may open automatically. If it doesn't, search for Zoom in your search bar or in your Start menu to start Zoom. Once started, you'll see a Start screen. Zoom can be used without a Zoom account. However, some settings are not available without a Zoom account, such as setting a profile picture. Creating a Zoom account can help you synchronize your settings across multiple devices and computers. If you have a Zoom account already, click on the Sign In button shown. Otherwise, click on the Sign Up button to create an account. Enter your birth year and click the Continue button. You can create a Zoom account by either using your email address, Apple ID, Google account, or Facebook account. The next slides will show you how to create an account with your email address. Type in your email address and click on the Continue button. Zoom will send you an email with a verification code. Enter that code into Zoom and click the Verify button to continue. Next, enter in your name, first name and last, and create a password for your Zoom account. Once you're signed in, you'll arrive at the Zoom main window. Now we will show you how to modify your Zoom client settings. Once Zoom is running, in the main window in the upper right corner, below your initials, there is a gear icon for settings. Click on this gear icon to open the settings window. In the settings window underneath the General tab, if you have two monitors, go ahead and check this option to allow Zoom to use two different monitors at the same time. Next, I recommend unchecking Enter Full Screen when starting or joining a meeting. Unchecking this option will allow you to switch between different applications without much trouble. Next, I also recommend you check Always Show Meeting Controls. Checking this option allows you to see the meeting controls at the bottom of your Zoom window and be able to see whether your microphone is muted or not. Next, I encourage you to check Ask Me to Confirm when I leave a meeting. This helps prevent you from leaving a meeting accidentally. On the left-hand side, now click on the Video tab. Underneath the Video option, you'll see an option to Stop my video when joining. Make sure you check this option. because this can easily allow you to stop your video when joining a meeting, and it gives you the option to turn on your video without it having automatically to start. Now we will go into our audio settings to make sure your CW can be heard through Zoom. On the audio settings page, underneath microphone, uncheck automatically adjust microphone volume, and then slide the input volume button left or right so that your voice volume is approximately filling the input level meter about 50 to 75%. Next, underneath audio profile, select Zoom background noise removal. It may also be called Zoom optimized audio. Underneath Zoom background noise removal and underneath background noise suppression, select the option for low. Selecting this option, now you will be able to hear a little bit more room noise. However, you should now be able to hear my Morse code evenly without any suppression. Let's take a look and try it. Here we go. The idea is to have your Morse code to be approximately the same volume as your voice. That way here, your voice and CW volume will be the same, and students will not have to adjust their computer volume to avoid hurting their ears. Scroll down to the bottom of the audio options, and there is an option for mute my mic when joining. Make sure that this is checked. When this is checked, your microphone will be automatically muted when you join a Zoom meeting, and this will prevent an ongoing exercise from being interrupted by any noise going on in the background of your room. Now, we will go into our profile settings. On the left-hand side, click on the profile option, and from here, you can now set your profile picture. I'm going to click on the profile picture icon here to load a picture. Click Open, and then use the dialog here to adjust and crop your picture so that it fits within the frame very well. When you're done, click Save. And now you'll see your profile picture here. When your video is turned off in class, your profile picture will appear in the Zoom room so people know it is you. Next, I'm going to update my name. But to do this, I have to click the Edit My Profile button to open my profile in my web browser. You might have to log into Zoom in your web browser to see this page. You can already see that I have my profile picture here. But over here you see my name twice. My second name down below is actually my display name, and this is what other students will see in class. To change this, I'm going to click on the Edit button. I want my display name to be my first name, my call sign, and my two-letter state abbreviation, or my province abbreviation, or my country code. Once I type that in, click the Save button down below. Now, every time I am in class, students will see my name and call sign and approximately where I'm from. While you are logged into class, you can turn on your video by going to the lower left-hand corner of your Zoom window and clicking on the video button. You can turn off your video by clicking on the video button again. While in class, make sure that your microphone is muted by ensuring that there is a red line through the audio button while you are not speaking or sending code. And to unmute your microphone, just click on the button again. To leave class, in the lower right hand corner, click the Leave button. So this concludes our settings demonstration for Zoom. Now you're all set to join our classes. Hope to see you in class soon. Thank you, Ed, and back to you.
Thank you, Ron. Sending is an integral part of learning Morse code. You'll begin sending in your first beginner's class. Now, don't worry if you don't have a key and oscillator yet. You can verbalize the Morse code. We refer to that as code talking. Here to explain more about selecting a key, an oscillator, and getting it set up for class is club instructor Bob, WO6W. Over to you, Bob.
Thank you, Ed. I'm Bob, callsign WO6W, and this is a quick start guide to sending prep with the Long Island CW Club. In order to get going, you're going to want a few things for your practice. A straight key is preferred, but a key of some sort. You're going to need a side tone source. This is the device that generates the tone that you hear when you send Morse code. These are the two key elements. LICW is going to recommend that you start with a straight key, all else being equal. If you have arthritis, if you have the paddles that your dad used and you really want to keep using them, not a problem. We simply recommend that you start with a straight key. Straight key is going to give the most intimate connection between you and the code that you send. Your hand and your ear are responsible for making every dit, every da, and every space. Note that the straight key need not be complicated. A very inexpensive 3D printed key will certainly do the job. You're going to hear mention of other kinds of keys along the way: straight keys, paddle, single and dual, side swipers, bugs. These are the pictures of the different type keys. Again, we are recommending that you start with a straight key. Your radio can serve as an excellent source of a side tone, typically a very pure tone free of clicks and pops. If you go to the instruction manual for your radio under something perhaps labeled CW operation or code practice with your XYZ radio, you're going to find instructions on how to configure the radio so that it does not transmit when you practice. You're probably going to find something like turning break-in or Vox off, possibly putting the radio in a test mode. Your manual will tell you how to do this. If you already have your HF radio, you're in good shape to get started with an excellent code practice oscillator. Lacking an HF radio, or if you'd like a device that you could use in a different room or perhaps take it with you while traveling, consider a basic code practice oscillator or a keyer with code practice oscillator capability. In either case, you need it to have a speaker loud enough to be heard by your Zoom microphone. There are still other devices that would provide you with code practice capabilities, as well as additional training or remote access types of functions. The CW Hotline and Morse-Areno 32 are two popular devices. They are beyond the scope of this quick start video. Look them up on the web. If you go to CW Morse, there are several packages that you might consider. The Camelback straight key is offered with either the Scout code practice oscillator or the Yak keyer. Either device will do fine service as a code practice oscillator. I would suggest you consider the Yak as the more capable device. For modest additional cost, it includes keyer functionality, which you're likely to find useful further down the road. With either package, I recommend you ask for the Navy knob on the Camelback straight key. And note that CW Morse offers LICW members a discount using code LICW10. Ed, thank you, and I return to you for the next section of this video.
Thank you, Bob. You are now ready to join any BC1 class, but please attend the intro classes to ensure that you understand the club resources and training tools, and ideally, have your key and oscillator ready to send CW over Zoom. Remember, you can start by code talking in class if your key and oscillator are not yet ready. If you're unable to attend, recordings may be viewed by clicking the link under the LICW Club resources on the weekly schedule titled LICW Intro Class Videos. If you have any questions, please email us at licwquickstart@groups.io and we'll answer as soon as possible. We're excited to have you with us here at LICW, and we hope that you enjoy your CW journey. I look forward to seeing you online, on the air, or in person very soon. Best 73, and thank you again for being a part of the Long Island CW Club.